which would make our ATR low come up. I guess it puts it up all the way to S4. So we could do an R4 to S4 later if we rally. I would, like I said, I'd much prefer to sell a little bit because our ATR low is below S3. So we could come down and.
Where's your R4 on NQ?
NQ, it's at 19,791.
Okay, yours is a little lower than mine.
So, because then what would happen if we bought S3, our ATR high is almost all the way up at my R6, which is like 19,976.
Yeah.
So if we bought S3, we could go from S3 all the way out to R6 on the narrow range, and that would be really pretty. So we'll see what happens. They keep finding buyers, though. So maybe they're not going to give me my sweet, sweet opportunity today. Look at all that buying right there. All right, watch list. Let's just check what I've already liked. Lower range. Interesting. Lots of options on Apple today.
AMD looked like a short today. Tesla's hurting.
I like Tesla. Tesla could do, it's a higher range, so we could bounce S3 on it, which would be interesting. But I don't like that it's already been down to S4 in the pre-market. That's a little unenjoyable. That makes it look like it couldn't find buyers here. We'll see. That could be an option. Tesla's been a hard one lately. It's definitely come out of meme status. All right, we got watch lists. Okay, here. See, if I went in toss and then I got my brackets loaded into here, because then I could do, I think I can put them into here. And then I could just go pop. And zink. Sold at premium on ES. Right back to our, right back up near the top of the candle. We found a seller there. Kind of what we were thinking would happen.
There's also,
not that they're not going to break out on it. I just don't know if I see them doing that. I don't know if they were going to get the volume for that in the pre-market. What was that?
There's also a bullish fair value gap where it's retesting right now, at least on my program.
Right, I see that. Yeah, we're coming into its CE right now. So it, like, that wick right there was right into its, so you get, so what she's talking about is you can see right here, sorry, from that high right there to that low right there, right, this is creating a bullish This is just a manipulation. But you can see how, like, I'll make this like a, maybe I'll make this a, like a neutral color since it's just a box. That's kind of cool. So you can see how this kind of created this manipulation range. So Peter and I, so when I was a less educated man than I am today, we had this whole TFL thing going on, and I don't know if any of y'all were in Bear Bull Traders here for a long time. We had no idea why there was always this crazy candle that happened at 8:30 almost every day. I was just too new. I hadn't figured it out yet. So, but now we know there's almost always news that happens at 8:30. Like that just tells you where we've come from. Like at that point in time, BBT wasn't even like looking at news or focusing on news at all when I first started here. You know what I mean? They were looking at gappers and then reading the news on the gappers, but they didn't focus on the economic data, the market news whatsoever. Right. So and then so what we learned is this is actually normally an 8:30 news manipulation because the order book's really lean. Basically, what can happen is someone can come in here and buy a whole crap load of shares real quick, and they get a really quick move. They can sell them here, so it's an algorithm, right? It hits and buys here, and immediately throws limit orders up here, and it just goes and it just eats the money, right? So, but what happens is if we lose this low or gain this high, right, stuff happens because that's a lot of shares were exchanged there and that manipulation. Now they're waiting to see what happens. If it makes a low, they'll stop out of the rest. If it makes new highs, they'll just hold, right? Because they've got a really good. And so now that we've broken here, now you can see we came right near the high of that to see if anyone wanted to sell up there, which they obliged, right? And now we came back down to this low side here where we bought to offer this buyer a chance to buy, which they did. But now when they bought back up to the midline on this area here where we sold from before, right, we had a seller and that seller has dropped it back down. So this is technically a buying candle. So that when we offered premium, a buyer should have bought here and they didn't. So now when this closes, we're going to watch it reoffer. And if it sells through, that it should start selling. Dang it, every single time I switch ES to NQ, I get that historical data frickin' pop up. God, that's annoying. What time is it? 9:14. All right, I got a few minutes still. A lot of selling since so we bought and that absorbed pretty well underneath these large orders, and then our selling came in and we sell. All right, I was just had to handle some bearable traders stuff. Cool. The good news is I think BBT is making a policy change, which I'm super happy about. They're gonna stop having us live trading on YouTube. So Andrews like says it's not really like for all the time, the effort and all the stuff, it's not really making enough of a difference in the like signups. So what they're gonna do now is basically Carlos and Peter are going to host a morning show. That's basically is basically going to host a morning show all the way until 10:30 every single morning, and then he's just going to basically screenshot in and share and say, hey, look at the live trading that's going on in the room. Thor just made money. If you guys want to see the calls they made, y'all need to get in there and check it out. Basically just, so they're still talking it, they're sharing their like some trades that are going on in the room, but no more live trading in the ether, and that makes me very happy. So it's like Christmas for me.
Are they still going to do the pre-market show, or?
Yeah, they're still going to do the whole pre-market show, but instead of Carlos and Peter cutting off to Brian and Andrew every morning, Carlos and Peter are going to just keep doing it, and they're just going to say, we've got trading starting in BBT here in about 5 minutes, and they're basically going to become like almost like a news show, like a Trader TV.
Oh, that's cool. Well, what about don't Carlos and Peter also have to trade the open, or?
Yeah, they'll do their own trading, and they're welcome to make calls here's and there. But Carlos really enjoys the production, and he likes kind of more of the news side, and so does Peter. So they're really cool with it. So, and I love it.
Okay, cool.
It makes me so happy. I've been saying this for a long time. I'm like, people want to feel like they're getting something that no one else is getting. It's I think I've always said BBT, there's two ways you can do it, right? Like, so for instance, like I only work with 20 people at a time, so that creates a supply and demand issue, right? So I've got a nice wait list, you know what I mean? But if you don't do that, then you exhaust your wait list really, really fast, right? And then you burn out your business. And that's a lot of these big chat rooms, that's the problem. There's only so many people out there that are interested in stock trading. And if you go too aggressively, too fast, then you eat through that. So, but I've always said that I would pay more for something that is elite, right, than something that is generic. Like I was happy to pay the lifetime membership back when I first started because BBT was like an elite trading community, at least in my eyes. And I wanted elite. I wanted something like nobody else could get to. So I think I've always kind of disagreed with the YouTube approach. I've always kind of felt like that was more of a. I've always felt like that was diluting our product into a medium that wasn't going to pay. You're never going to make money. You're not going to monetize this stuff unless you just go full force on that. Like if that's all you do, and you work hard and you become a YouTuber. And I'm like, where you're only trading on YouTube. I'm like, sure, then you're going to get a YouTube community and you can run ads and you'll make a little bit of money, but you're not going to be able to support a giant community like Bear Bull Traders on that kind of stuff. That's like something I'd do, what I mean? Because I only need to worry about me. I have no employees.
Right.
5 minutes. Anyway, peeps, I'm gonna dip. Let's hopefully this market will get into a funner place to play than it is right now. But until then, y'all have fun, and I will see y'all on noon to 1 Thursday. So I'll talk to y'all later.
Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Hey, Mark, can you share your NQ, please? I wanna check the line. with
There you go.
you. Yeah, I wanna see the yesterday value. Value high. 720. See, my value high on TAS is 19,606. That's a very high, I'm sorry.
Mark, you're saying this is the area of the POC right here, where we're at, kind of, right now.
Yeah, so yesterday's POC is buried in all this noise.
It doesn't match with you.
So we could reject here. We may not make it to R3. We may not make it to our R4.
Correct.
We could
We
actually,
may have already done it yesterday,
yeah,
right?
reject here. Just don't know yet. It's a little scary trying to go long at S3 when the value area low is down by S4.
Yeah, my point exactly. Yeah, I wouldn't be going long unless I have something outside of value. And then if
Yeah.
I'm descending into it, this is proving weakness. I'd hate to get in front of that.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's kind of what I was thinking. I mean, the buyer is down below S4. The real buyer, or like, I would want to make sure that guy's going to be there before I get in.
Yeah. Is it not showing? Oh, we look at that. People want to sell right there up to about, I mean, there it is. Now we got orders dropping in. The last bigger ones are up here at 614. Man, there's not even any orders up there right now. I'm not sure we get there. They're starting to put all their orders basically at PDC, just above the piece, just above the CP. The last order higher I have is at 19,630. Somebody wants to sell pretty bad right up there. Do we go back and get, they say put the target there. Did they get it? Got it. Now do we drop? No more targets. Came back to check it. There's that target there again.
Order submitted. Order filled.
Okay, now we see. Now we're accepting. We've rejected value from before. We saw orders come right in at price on NQ. We were trading lower. Now we'll see what the little computer algos do at S3 with the buyback up to where? Any new targets show up then? So far in a 30-minute, we don't have much wicking going on. Let's see, there's ES. Let's get that off to the side. There's NQ.
Order submitted. Order filled. Order canceled. Order canceled. Order submitted. Order filled.
I have something going with my ninja. Keep. It doesn't close the order, and you go against me.
Order submitted. Order filled. Self-filled.
हाँ जी बेटा एक मिनट बेटा होना मतलब बेटा हाँ बेटा कर लो तुसी ब्रश बेटा फेरना मैं प्लीज हाँ जी बेटा ओके बेटा
Tesla brought on a whole bunch of orders to the upside.
Koska Järvää.